Apple Music Essentials, music's most influential artists and the stories behind their songs.
I'm Nadeska here with Omarion and Apple Music, and we're about to dive into some essentials. But Omarion, I'm really curious. You've had such an amazing career. I wonder if you consider yourself to be a sentimental person. Like, do you ever take time to reflect on the journey, or are you more of a constantly looking ahead kind of person?
I feel like early on in my career, I was, just looking ahead type of person. But I definitely, in my more mature stage and phase as a creative person, I like to take a little beat. I think it's so important because, transitions are necessary for growth. So I can appreciate both person now.
You've certainly been through a lot of phases and a lot of career transitions. And I want to start with one of the earliest phases. So this is the B2K era. I remember this so vividly, the 106 in Park era, the Scream tours, and Bump 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 was such a huge record for you guys.
Yeah.
Honestly, your experiences at that time, looking back on those moments, can you even imagine a boy band like B2K existing or thriving in the era that we live in now?
Yes. It could thrive, very much so. I don't know who, could bring that into this space. But I think in the future, for sure.
What was it like at that moment? Can you take yourself back to that moment in your career where you guys released a song and realized that it was becoming such a big and such an impactful record?
We were so focused on the work at hand that I don't think that we've ever, kind of really realize, truly what everything that was going on, and partaking in the entertainment sphere. We never sought out to we want a Grammy or we want this, for us it was all right, today, y'all got school, and then, then y'all are gonna do rehearsal for about 6 to 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? So it was very professional for us.
Transitioning into a solo artist, especially coming from a group dynamic and then starting to make more mature content, I can't imagine that was necessarily easy, but that's what you did. So this is your first album, O, which dropped in 2005, and this is the title track. Definitely coming from being a teenager and making slightly more wholesome content. What was it like for you making a record like this?
I feel like in the group we were always pretty mature. Even in our movement and just our attitude and persona. O was a special song that was gifted to me because, I remember it was yesterday. I was recording at the Underdog studio. I remember recording with the Underdogs, my first album, and Tank was walking down the hallway, and he was like, hey, O. He was like, man, you should have a song called O. And I was like, oh, that would be dope. Like I said, I was gifted that song, you know what I'm saying? And then my tattoo, my O with the crown, that was created and made by Cartoon, a very prolific street artist, California, you know what I mean? I just went to go see him, and I was like, I just want to O with a crown, you know what I mean? He was like, all right. And then he freehand that on my arm, and then that was my logo.
This first album was really amazing. You really knocked it out of the park with this, because then the next single was Touch, right? So Pharrell helped write the song, produced by the Neptune.
I've always been a fan of Pharrell, and it was so special to be able to do this and create this moment, starting with Pharrell and then shooting the video with Diane Martell.
That was an iconic video. That's one of those that right. You watch and it takes you back, because those are the kind of videos that we don't really see these days from R&B singers too often,
Yeah, I have to definitely shout out Diane Martell and Jamaica and Roro for helping create that whole just moment. Because like you said, this is coming off the heels of, the grandfather of music for me, which is Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying? And being inspired by having the dance conversation with a lady, you know what I'm saying? Which we have to get back to that, fellas. Let me just talk to y'all real quick. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what's going on. You have to be able to grab a lady by the hand and dance with her. Trust me. Trust me, this is good for you, okay? I'm trying to help you out.
So now we're going to fast forward a year to your sophomore album, 21, right? So you're coming off a very successful debut album, and here you come with Icebox. This was a mega record for you. You worked with Timbaland on this one. I think any Omarion fan, even not even diehard Omarion fans, you know this song. You must know this one. Did you feel any pressure going into your sophomore album? We hear about the sophomore slump a lot of times. Obviously, that was not the case for you.
21 was a special record. I felt like to have Timberland a part of the video, you know what I'm saying? It was all in all, it was a dope and interesting time for me. Yeah, and Icebox is still to this day one of my most known songs. I remember coming in the studio and I was like, something about an icebox. I want to talk about something about the icebox. And then here we are.
We were talking a little bit even before we started rolling about phases and transitions. Those are not easy, right? Going through tough transitions give people so much anxiety. So as we get to this next record, which is MIA featuring Wale. So this ended up on your Care Package EP and MMG's Self-Made Volume 2 compilation. So at this point, you transitioned from being in a very successful boy band, a group. You transitioned into being a very successful solo artist, and now here you were transitioning into being a part of a collective. So what kind of memories does this record bring back for you?
Sometimes in the moment, you might not know why you're being pulled towards something, but usually if you're aware and you're paying attention, you know what lessons, that come from things. Things that you need to work on, things that you need to make stronger, things that you need to know more about. And for me, because, I started at such a very, very young age, I was still searching for things. I was still searching to be a part of something because, coming from the group and how that transition, it wasn't really a positive transition. It was very turbulent. Nonetheless, it turned into something beautiful, which was my solo career that really blossomed into, this space where I was okay with being a part of something again. Shout out to Wale. But yeah, this Maybach era, you can't have Maybach music without Maybach. Oh, and don't let nobody else tell you so. You dig?
Now, once we get to Sex Playlist in 2014, right? So this is album number 4. This is your first full-length release under Maybach Music. And a mega record from this project was supposed to be featuring Chris Brown and Jhené Aiko. I'm curious what it was like putting this song together and also your reaction hearing Jhené's contribution for the first time. Because, of course, she had a slightly raunchy line, that fans really loved and appreciated on this record.
Sex Playlist was very important and special for me on so many levels. I'm stepping into Sex Playlist where, I want to create music that I'm living. Now I want to make music, I want to talk about it, and I want to use words, and I want to talk about scenarios and that are, indicative to me and my experience and not just this kind of songwriting format. I want to put myself inside the music. And, that's when I had my first son. It was Sex Playlist, and that's when I became a father. And in hindsight, being Icebox happening and O happening and all these other special records supposed to be is like, wow, it was a very, very special song. One, because at that particular time I didn't have a lot of support, so it was a proving that I felt like I needed to do. I needed to prove to myself. I invested my own money in shooting the video, and Chris Brown and Jhené, they really came through for me. That was a very, very special moment in music, and especially because the way things sound when I started to, this Mustard era, DJ Mustard era, it's completely different,
So was that intentional? Because it does sound very different from your earliest solo records.
Yeah, that was intentional because, like I was saying earlier, versatility, being able to flex the skill on whatever, that was a very special song, and it was so fun. It was so fun, and I was so used to making these fun records, but they're so serious. You know what I'm saying? So it went from the serious vibe moving into like, hey, it's a party now. We finna, hey, that's how it's supposed to be. And I really like how I don't know if people ever really receive this, but I think supposed to be was an attitude. You know what I'm saying? When I'm saying that's how it's supposed to be, it's like it's something that you're supposed to believe in yourself.
This one definitely goes down in pop culture infamy. So
don't eat the groceries. Oh, no, that. Don't eat the groceries. No, I'm each his own. To each his own.
We're up to 2020 right now, working with T-Pain on a record called Can You Hear Me from the brand new album, The Connection. Now, you and Pain are both musical giants. You've been so influential in music. What was it like connecting on this record?
T-Pain is amazing. He was supposed to be on the 2019 Millennium Tour, but he had some other things going on, and instead he's sending me these songs. And I said, wait a minute. You didn't come on tour, but you sending them hits. So yeah, this was really, really cool. And I thought that it definitely spoke to the transformative space and things that are happening right now, like Can You Hear Me? And also right before COVID hit, I was gearing up to shoot this video, and I was so excited to get back to this new formula of familiar things that people have seen and some things that people haven't seen for me. And COVID hit, and then we had to shut it down. So an artist by the name of Franco, him and his friends, they put together this video. They looked like they had a budget and everything, and they put this video out. And I thought it was so cool, to still at this particular time in my career inspire people to want to do things, to come up with their own versions of my songs. This video was more of a homage to the dance community, in which I'm a part of, because dance is an act of joy. And throughout my relationship with dance, I see how important it is in life to dance, and not just in the physical aspect, even though that's really, really good for you. I mean, it literally brings joy. That's why when people win money, they be like, oh, and then they start dancing. I mean, you don't have to have rhythm to express joy. You know what I'm saying? And dance is very spiritual for me.
Listen, you have to stop challenging these men. Not everyone can dance as well as you, Omarion. You have to understand.
All you need is a two-step. That's it, You just got to know where to put your hand in the middle of the back. Not too low, not too high. But, if you're going low, then just make sure you know.
Is it surreal to you to really just sit back and absorb that your catalog spans about 18 years of great music? I don't know if you can feel, I have a weird relationship with time. I'm not sure about you, but that's a lot to take in.
It's a little heavy. I don't like to, too much, what I'm saying? Because, I'm a very reflective person, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's dense, but, I have some ways to go, just as far as, the OGs and the predecessors. Marvin is still putting out music. He's been going for a while. Tupac is still putting out music. He's been going for a while. So, when we're talking about immortality, we're talking about our works. You know what I'm saying?
Immortality, that's heavy. Thank you, Omarion. And of course, you can check out the Omarion Essentials anytime. You can hear all of the songs we ran through here on Apple Music.